You're listening to Court Reserve Unscripted with me, Ashley Owens.
Just over here talking to myself on mute. How are you?
That's how the greatest podcasts start, when you're just talking to yourself. How are you?
Good. How was the rest of New York for you guys?
Oh my gosh, the US Open. Well, it's just such an incredible place to go and just know you're with your people.
Yes.
Everybody loves tennis.
Yeah, everybody's obsessed.
All right, so let's talk about the US Open. Favorite match?
Are we live on the podcast right now?
We're live, so watch out what you say.
Man, just right into it. Let's see here. I can tell you what was not my favorite match, if that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Sinner just destroying Bublik was like heartbreaking for me to watch.
Yes.
I'm trying to think favorite match, man. I don't know. The Taylor Townsend one was certainly a very interesting match. It wasn't my favorite outcome.
Right.
But man, like I was feeling her pain, choking
Right.
away 7 match points. I think it was rough.
I was pulling for her so hard. You know, all of us internally, like tennis fans, were like, "Oh, when she gets it in the net or something," you know. I mean, it's just like I'm a super fan of Taylor for sure. So
on like match point number 5, I think I was like hyperventilating for her at home. I'm like, please, just please, now's the time, Taylor. Let's wrap this up.
yeah. So I did. We got to go Friday night and we watched Sabalenka play. What an extraordinary player! Her strength and just her like tenacity on court. And then she's just like, when she's on camera and she's interviewing, she's just such a sweet person. But then like that other personality comes out on court, and I just love it. It's like Jekyll and Hyde or something.
She's a good hang too, man. So me and Nate, she's sponsored by Dobel Tequila, which is of course me and Nate like her.
Right.
So she had, I guess they announced her signature drink, the like margarita, like not a margarita, but a margarita.
That's awesome.
Dobel Tequila party last year. We actually get to hang with her for a little bit. Super nice human being, like as genuine as they come.
Yeah, I think that would be fun for sure. Now, if you were to play tennis out of all the people playing at the Open this year, male or female, who would you want to play with?
In like a doubles match?
Doubles.
Are we talking personality or skill level?
Well, I don't know. That's up to you.
I almost get back to Bublik again. I just think the guy's hilarious. No, it's hard because it's like if it's a double specialist, I don't know. I lean towards like a very boring like Yannick or Alcaraz, but maybe like a Tiafoe or a Ben Shelton. Those are definitely like my two favorite
Okay.
players.
Yeah.
I got some hometown love for Tiafoe too, because I'm a University of Maryland Terp.
Yes.
That's my guy. So maybe Tiafoe is the firm answer there.
I love it. I also hate that Shelton got hurt the other day too. Oh, broke my heart, because Tim and I were excited to maybe get a chance to see him. Because actually, you know, Court Reserve's 9 years old, but we've only been to the Open 3 years. Wow. And so in years like 1 through 6, we didn't have enough money to go to the Open, and now we can.
There you go. Yeah, they're in that president's suite, doing it right.
I wish.
Yeah, we saw Tiafoe play Shelton at the City Open. We have like these unbelievable these box seats that we get there every year. But we can't afford those at the U.S. Open yet. But at City is like very our budget and our speed.
Yes.
But yeah.
So what else did you do? Because you were in New York like 8 days, right?
I hate to admit this, and this is not what any podcast listener that loves tennis wants to hear. I was in the city more than I was at the tournament, like just meetings, filming content. I mean, we run a business too. I think everybody just thinks me and Nate run this like prolific YouTube channel. So yeah, there's a lot of business meetings, a lot of lunches, a lot of coffee meetings. I think I told you guys when I met, I was like, I can't do one more sit down meeting. Let's just walk around the city.
We did. We walked around like 5th and 6th Avenue for like an hour.
I mean, as far as places to walk, pretty cool sightseeing. So I don't
Oh,
know.
it was great. It was great.
Yeah, I only
We
actually got to the tournament for 2 of the 8 days I was there, which is pretty heartbreaking. So,
Wow, yeah. Yeah, we actually went to see The Outsiders off Broadway.
oh, that's
Fantastic. It was a
awesome.
great show. Tim wanted to see The Lion King. I won. I wanted to see The Outsiders, so I got
Wow,
to win. So,
there
all
you
right,
go.
so let's talk about what you guys are doing. You've been around for a long time. Your business has been an extraordinary journey. What's new?
Man, all of it. So, yeah, I mean, I've been doing this. Most people don't realize this. Player Court has just reached its almost 16-year mark as a business. I was actually the first coach on the platform. Definitely nobody knows that. So, the whole thing started because I needed what all my tennis coaches need. I wanted more hours. I was a coach at this really expensive club in DC. You've got your private country club membership that you can teach, and then that's your captive audience. There's nobody else. And I was young and thought I wanted to make a bunch of money and needed to teach more than 40 hours in my head. So that's kind of how this whole thing was born. And that business has really stayed very much the same because it's still a problem, right? Like coaches still need more clients, and there's plenty of cities in the US still where if you don't belong to one of these expensive clubs, you can't get tennis lessons. So the lessons business hasn't really changed a whole lot, except that it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. I think we have over 4,200 coaches now nationwide in the lessons marketplace. So that is much different than the small meetings with me and three other coaches we had in my Rockville condo having like a little pizza party. So it's a much different vibe now for sure. But so that is the same as always. The latest and greatest, I guess, like we've always just listened to customers kind of the same way. I really respect what you and Tim are doing because I know you guys do the exact same thing. So all these people came to us and they just said, hey, love the lesson service, don't really want to join a country club or can't afford to or don't live near one. How do I find somebody to practice with? Light bulb goes off. We said we should probably do that for these people. So we've got just over 25,000 paid members inside of a community that really, all of those people really joined to help them improve their game. And from a business perspective, you've heard a little bit of this, but I think you'll find it funny. The more we work on that product, the worse churn gets. And when I picked up the phone and called customers and asked them why they were leaving, they said it works great, thanks. I said that's not a good situation for a for-profit business that
Right.
wants to continue growing the sport of tennis. So we've leaned a lot more in on the instruction that me and Nate provide. The consistent feedback is people like to learn from us. It's humbling. So we're actually starting to build the business more as like an education platform. We're working on something called the 4.0 Club, which is going to give, rec players a very specific sort of prescription of like, look, there's a lot of things you could go work on, but if you just want to get to that 4.0 level, here is the list and here's the exact instruction, here's the exact drills. So we're working on that and we'll be releasing pieces of it kind of quietly here through the fall and winter, and then we'll do a bigger push probably in Q1 of 2026. But yeah, I mean, the goal is just to get a lot more people playing tennis and make sure they improve so they keep playing it. I've found that when you get stuck is when you quit, and we don't want that to happen. So
But wait, you're saying we're not already all 4.0s? I thought, okay.
statistically, we're very unlikely to have reached the 4.0 level. I don't know. The older I get, I don't know that I'm still playing anywhere well above a 4.0 anymore myself.
So Tim and I, our background, we played a lot of tennis in North Carolina. I mean, we were just club players, right? And we just worked so hard every day. We would go to the courts and train with each other and hit with each other and all this stuff. And I just remember the first couple of USTA like tournaments that we entered into, like a mixed good doubles couple. And we would enter like the 3-0 or the 3-5. And we would get blasted because these people, and you go back and look, and they had played 4-0 and above, for years, but then they rated themselves, into a tournament just so they could win. I just remember some of the matches that just like, it just gives that sense of like, it's so frustrating. So like in your experience, how when people self-rate themselves, right? Do you often see people that underrate themselves rather than overrate? And at what point?
We're the weird like section of the tennis universe that has the opposite problem because most people that come to me truly want to get better, not just
Mhm.
collect trophies. So like the average the average person watching our YouTube channel, the average person in our email list, paying attention to our newsletter, buying lessons, trying to find practice partners. they're all like, I'm not going to say desperate, but they're excited to get better. And they know that just sandbagging and beating guys they're better than is not the way to do that. So in our community, it's interesting. We have our own proprietary rating system. It's kind of like UTR light, to be honest. Because for us, like, I don't need to know if the number one player in Zimbabwe can beat the number one player in Atlanta, Georgia. Like, I just need to know if you and I got on the tennis court, like, will we have a great time or not? So
Right.
for us, we don't need, all of the verified matches that I think UTR requires you to have, like the solidified rating. For us, it's very much just, look, where are you at? What are you trying to get to? Here's kind of what we recommend you do. Here's the range of which you should practice the people. And they're unusually honest inside of our community. I know that's bizarre everywhere else. Now, I will say we have a bracket challenge league where then all of a sudden, the weirdness ensues yet again. And you just it's just human nature, I guess. I hate it, but
Oh,
certainly
that's
a part of it.
awesome.
I used
Yeah.
to rag on USTA leagues, and then I was like, oh, look, we have the same problems in our own in-house league. Apparently, some people want trophies more than they want to actually uh,
Fair
earn.
matches. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
And
tough, man. I don't think anybody's really going to solve that one. UTR, I guess, is doing a decent job of at least getting the ratings right, but
yeah. So, what do you think is next for tennis? Do you think AI? Do you think in the technology space? What do you think's next in the tennis world?
so I got to be careful here because we have a lot of partners that are playing in those lanes that I think are going to play a big role in improvement. I mean, me and Nate have always believed like slow motion video technology is absolutely critical uh, for any coach. Like no matter how good you are, you just can't see at that speed, and you definitely can't see at that speed from across the court. So like whenever we train somebody, we've always geeked out on, Coach's Eye was a big product back in the day. I don't even think they're still in business anymore. We use OnForm now. But we've got a great partner, SwingVision, who is just building like some epic stuff in this lane. And we've got one of my best friends also runs fuzzyellowballs.com, and he has launched an AI serve coach. He built it with Mark Kovacs, who the industry knows to be one of the
Yeah.
smartest dudes on earth. So
Right.
we'll see. I mean, if you ask Will or if you ask, the guys over at SwingVision, I think we all kind of agree a human eye is always going to need to play a role, but certainly we might be aided a bit more by the robots here in the coming years, it would appear.
So, from your experience, if I was a 3-5 player and I wanted to get to 4-0, is there like one thing that I could work on? Like if just one thing that could help me advance over
It's
like trying to learn a bunch.
I feel like you're teeing me up to pitch the new membership I'm building right now. The 4.0 club. It's so we have identified, and me and Nate are old, man. Between the two of us, we have like 2,000 years of coaching experience. But we sat down and we're literally building a documentary around us building this course because it's like so much is going into this, and it's not just some marketing hack. It's like me and Nate have seen thousands and thousands and thousands of tennis players, and we sat down and we agreed these are the 10 things that every single 4.0 player that we have definitely can do. And so not all 4.0 players have all 10, but sort of the promise that we're going to be trying to make is look, if you check all 10 of these boxes, you will definitely be a 4.0. You might only need to check 8.
Mm.
But so yeah, we've come up with 10 specific things. I'll give you a teaser. I think that the biggest one is over 50% first serve consistency. So like there's 10 very specific things like this, and then we bring you down a different lane. It's not always technique, but we see a lot of 4.0s with really funky technique, but they're just really sharp in between the ears and really fast, right? So
Right.
we really have, we think identified like almost a prescription for like these are the things you have to have. You can certainly get there without some of them, but
Yeah.
this is
That's
sort of the
awesome.
guarantee. So that's what we're
Um,
into.
so you've been a coach for a long time. If you were to talk to a young coach today, what advice would you give them?
Oof. Don't burn out. I think I
Mm.
was very close. Because when you're young, you think you can teach 70-hour weeks, and you can until you can't. I think a lot of the this is going to sound so fatherly of me, but I think a lot of my advice would be like stretching and icing and proper body maintenance so that you can withstand,
Mm.
you know, you can withstand a career, being on the court that actively. Um, I'm real biased because I'm very business minded. So my mind, even at a young age, always went to how do I turn this into a career versus a job? Like I was always weighing the path of like, is there something I could start on my own? Do I want to get on the path of being a director? I just remember when I got a job at Chevy Chase Country Club in DC out of college. I think I was making 90 grand a year as a 23-year-old, and I was like, oh my God, I'm rich.
Jackpot.
Right. I was like so excited. And then I was 24 and I was making 90 grand a year. And I was 25 and I was making 90 grand a year. And I was 26 and I was like, wait a second. And then I started asking around like some of the coaches that worked there. And I was like, hey, like weird question, but how much do you make? And I was like, oh no. Okay. I've got to figure out a path here. Like I really
Right.
loved the coaching aspect of it. I loved the helping people get better. But I also wanted to get married and have a family and provide and
Yeah,
earn more money, and it's hard to do that, feeding balls 40 hours a week. So my advice would be think about where you want to be 10 years from now and make sure, you're on a career path to get yourself there, not just short-minded.
that's a
I
good
got really
advice.
lucky. I came up with an idea that I had no idea was going to become a successful anything, and I'm obsessed with just making things go fast, and so it turns out it worked out okay, but I was not. I did not have that forethought. I just got very lucky coming up with an idea that happened to work out.
Would you teach your kids and your grandkids to
Absolutely
play
not.
racket sports?
Absolutely not. Nor my wife.
No.
I will let anyone else on earth teach them. But I have a hilarious story for this actually. So I have a 7 and an almost 4-year-old, and my 7-year-old's very like aware of player court and what we do, and that I have all these coaches, and that we do this stuff in the tennis space. And he was doing this summer camp here down in Virginia Beach at one of the facilities. And I was just like, hey, like before you go to the camp, do you want to get out there and like we can hit around? And he was so excited. So we get out there and I'm trying to show him how to do it. And he's like, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like,
Of course not.
usually you're right, but I'm like uniquely qualified to know exactly what I'm talking about in this one specific area of like I'm like top 1% in the world. Like you trust me. And he's like, I don't think so.
Nah.
I'm like, all right,
From the
well,
mouth of babes.
yeah, exactly. So similar experience with my wife, who I have nothing to say negative about, but you just
This
can't
is being
coach.
recorded.
Yeah, yeah, but don't send it to her. But yeah, you can't coach the ones you love. It's
No,
it's too dangerous.
Tim and I have learned that. Well, maybe him more than me, because Tim is athletically gifted. Any sport we've ever taken up, he's really good at, and it really like just
That's
sucks
annoying.
sucks the life out of me sometimes. And so he's always been the coach of our relationship. But the problem is that there's a line. So when you get on the court and you're actually playing, you can't coach me anymore. You just got to let me play. You can talk to me later.
Right.
And so we've gone through seasons of relationship and marriage where we're able to play together, and then we'll have to take a break because it's good for the marriage.
Yeah.
And so I would agree with you. The husband and wife, that's a dynamic that you just got to tread carefully.
You gotta be careful. And my wife is not like an avid tennis player, which I think is really good for our marriage. It keeps everything in its own safe lane. She's starting to get into it now, which is terrifying. I'm like, do you want me to coach you? And she's like, I would love that. And I was like, I don't
No,
know. Would you? I
no,
don't think so.
maybe Nate.
Yeah, exactly. I said that. I was like, why don't Nate? I'll coach your wife, you coach my wife, and we can all remain in happy
There
marriages.
you go. That's
Great.
right. So, a couple of fast questions for you.
All
Are
right.
you playing any other sports these days?
I'm obsessed with golf right now.
Oh, what's your handicap?
It's terrible. I'm like a 16.
Okay. All right.
But you know why I'm obsessed with it? Because I get better at it every time I play. Like when I play tennis, I'm just slower and fatter than I was yesterday now.
The
And like
bar
my
is so
brain
low.
remembers like this 18-year-old like D1 college athletic experience, and my body is like, hey, you're old, remember?
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. All right. Would you rather play badminton or pickleball?
whew, badminton, just on principle.
Favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream. Uh, we'll go chocolate. It's very basic.
Favorite major you've ever attended?
Sadly, I've only been to the US Open, so that's got to be my answer. I got to
Okay.
fix that one.
Yes, we all have to fix that. That's the only one we've ever been to.
Yeah.
Favorite country to visit?
Favorite country to visit, probably Italy.
Oh, why?
The food. Me and food have a great relationship, and that's the best place to eat it.
Yes. Yes. Do you drink wine?
I do. And my wife I think has like her level one sommelier at one point in her life. So like she brings me on the guided tour of what I should be doing. I have like the worst sophistication in terms of palate. I don't know what I'm doing.
I
I'm a
feel like
virgin.
your wife's going to be on the next unscripted podcast because I love wine too. So
There you go.
that's awesome. Uh, if you were to do beach or mountains?
I live in Virginia Beach, so I'm real biased, but clearly beach.
Yeah, for sure. What's next for you? Maybe not even in the business world, but what's next for you and your family?
More of the same, man. So I'll go heartfelt for a second. So in building this business, there was a period of time right before my first son was born. I got a little too obsessed with the business and a little bit not aware of what actually matters in life. So have done a very good job in the last 7 years of making sure I have my priorities straight and being a very good husband, being a very good dad, and then ironically, it turns out being a very good CEO falls naturally off the back of those two things. So quadrupling down on being there for everything for my kids and trying to be the best husband I can be.
Mic drop. That's awesome. I think that that's the goal, right? Is to, those that's the legacy, right? We can build great businesses, but if we leave the people behind that matter the most, then there's a problem for sure. So
Absolutely. Well, and I
that's
think a lot of
awesome.
people build great businesses because they think they want to make a bunch of money, and then after they've made it, they realize all they really wanted was to spend that time with their kids. So
I
I'm making sure I don't miss that.
Yeah, don't miss it for sure. So if people want to find out more about what you're doing, how would they reach out to you or go online?
Yeah, I mean, the platform playyourcourt.com obviously is where we sort of house everything. We're very active on our personal DMs. I know this is dangerous for me to say out loud, but me and Nate are actually the people running our own personal accounts. The Player Court account is run by a whole slew of people because we got a lot going on there. But yeah, I mean, follow me and Nate on Instagram and DM us. We are real human beings.
Where are you going to be in the next couple months?
The next couple months I have got a lot going on. So I am going. I'll share you with this first because this is what I'm most excited about. I'm going to the Commanders Giants game this Sunday. So that's a big deal for me.
Ooh,
Diehard Commanders fan. And then I have got Hawaii for the Racket Sports Professional Association World Conference. Not a terrible place to visit for a
no.
World Conference. So I've got that going on. I come back, and then in October I'm in Austin for a it's basically like a digital marketing mastermind. I got to make sure I keep getting smarter.
Ooh, cool.
So doing that, and then we have our annual team retreat, which we're holding in Key West this year, where me and Nate go have way too many beers with people much smarter than us to make sure we don't mess this whole business up.
That's a great idea. IPAs first
There you
all
go.
day. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, good to see you. And we'll talk to you next time.
That sounds good. Thanks so
All
much.
right, see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you'd like to learn more about how Court Reserve became the go-to club management software for racket and paddle sport clubs, come say hello over on our website. There's a link in the show notes.